So we got a bounce in the broader market. You can look at the SPY. It has a bounce today. Dow Jones, IWM, Russell 2000. Biotechs, and the most important one is the financials. So they got a lot of earnings out of the financials. So this is looking bullish for the broader market, and the VIX is down, which means no fear. Yet the normal performances like the Nasdaq, the QQQ, although it bounced from the low, it is not looking very positive. It's looking very negative for whatever reason. So this is kind of a red herring, or a signal that something is going on, and the retails are weak, and which is kind of weird because I guess they're still waiting for the stimulus to pass. But today the initial claims were lower, so and good financial. So I'm not sure why the retails, especially with the anticipation of the spending season for Q4. So I'm not sure why the retails are so weak, but it's a mix sort of. I mean, the broader market has a bounce, but because the QQQ is weak, I'm not exactly sure right now what the direction is gonna be, to be honest. Now, I'm looking at this real closely as well. This is the futures with the Nasdaq 100. So you can see last week you got this big doji top, and this means essentially this long tail or this long wick. This is a negative in a very bearish indicator, similar to what happened in September. So this top is lower than this top for last week. And then so this candle is a follow up where it tried to rally but it failed, and now it went to this key technical level, and of course it already penetrated a little bit, so you can see it penetrates to get the stops and just to pull in the people who think it's gonna flush. So this is a trap, and then it bounced. So this is a bounce, so this should be bullish for tomorrow. Who knows, the week is not over yet, but we'll see how this candle forms, and see. I don't know if this may, if it fail um tomorrow, meaning if it goes lower tomorrow and it's like down here, I think that would set up for a candle similar to this candle for next week. However, if it rallies, it may be a red candle, or it may, if it can, if rally even more, it may be a green candle. But even if it's a red candle, there's a long tail, but there's still a wick, so it's rather neutral at that point. If it closes like right here or a little bit above. So let's see what happens tomorrow. I mean, a lot of mixed signal right now across the board, and so that's why it's hard to determine where the market is going to go. So the other thing that's kind of scary is COVID is continuing to rise. This is the world trend of COVID cases. So maybe that's why retail is down. That would make sense why retail is weak. Because with increasing COVID, that is gonna throw a monkey wrench into to retails. So this is starting to be worrisome. Yeah, I'm starting to get to worry because if this continues to go up, well, you gotta, yeah, it's a pretty bad scenario. Um, and this is the United States. It's continuing to trend up as well, but not as bad. It's still not at this, where it was. But it is trending up, so that is also negative. So we'll see what happens. Um, let's see. So as far as the individual results, the aftermarket right now, Intel reported bad earnings. So Intel always report bad earnings for whatever reason, and you can see the aftermarket investors pretty much, anybody who has Intel pretty much has no gains this year because now it's back to the low. Here's the weekly, essentially it's here now. So this is pretty bearish they may discount Intel, but I'm not sure. This is not a good sign of um, what's to come, because now you got Chipotle missing earnings. Here you got Chipotle missing earnings, although it bounced. This is probably just a fast bounce. And of course, you got Netflix missing earnings. You got Domino Pizza missing earnings, right? So you got a handful of rather top performers that are missing earnings. Who else? Tractor supply companies. Yeah, that's not good as well. The financial, so there's a lot of mixed report with the earnings, which is not. Anytime there's mixed report, the bias is going to be negative. So I think this is looking to be pretty bearish. We'll see. I think at best case you got to bounce tomorrow. Look at Shopify is down here, and Amazon is the one that's showing really weird behavior. So I'm gonna deep dive into Amazon, but right now, yeah, let's just deep dive into Amazon. So it's just it's really hard to figure this guy out right now. It's just strange. So that yesterday, of course, it bounced off of the 50. You can see that it penetrated and bounce off the 50. The 50 is no, this is a fast tick, by the way. It's not anywhere right here. So this is really the first 50 that it bounced off of out of all this. So that should be a very key technical level. Of course, it opened above the 50 right here. This is the bounce. This is the 50 pretty much. So open above, and it failed right away. If I get rid of the extended hours, you can see right there on the right there at the 100, uh, essentially the 3200, right there, it failed. Now at the time I saw that fail, but I'm leaning bullish. There is no way my sentiment is not bullish, because this right here is a gap up, and this is a bounce from the 50. So no way am I thinking, it's gonna do what it did, and it's just so off pretty much. Yeah, I can't catch any of this. There is no way I can catch this. I mean, I guess I could have, because I did sell some calls. You can see I did sell some calls, but it's hard to hold for the wave, because the strategy is really to catch and ride the waves. But it's just so hard to ride this wave when you are leaning positive. Okay, so anything, anywhere, any one of these candle bounce, it stop you out, and then it just reverse, and then it runs, and you're not gonna try to chase out of this, because you have no idea when the bounce is gonna be. You have no idea when the bounce will be, so you just let it run, let it run, let it run. Penetrates the 61.8 right here, bounce, went up here, and yeah, so it wiggled here and went back down. So this is where I should have held my calls. I bought, 5 calls of the, let me see where, right here, of the 3150. So I bought these fives, I cover, and the second time I rebuy them, and I cover here. I should have bought it again the third time when it went down. Um, when it went down to here, I should have bought it again, but I was scared. Now, I'm not. I'm having a hard time holding these calls, even though I know it's 61.8 on the retracement. And this is really, when you get down to the level like 61.8, you're gonna have to expect a bounce. And yeah, even I should have, even if I didn't catch that, I should have caught this guy when it went back down here. Yeah, this would have been a good one to catch. And I should have held it for this run up. I mean, this seems like short, but this is a good 12:30 to, so that's a good 2 hours that you have to hold something. and it's just difficult to hold like that. Let's look at what the 3150 had I bought it. Um, so yeah, even the second, let me see, where would, yeah, right here. I guess it would have been down here on, let me see, this guy is 1230. So 1230, yeah, right here. Oh yeah, here's the one where I caught a couple of these guys on the calls, and I should have been able to re-enter on this one at the low of the low of 20.5. So had I caught this one and held it, that would have been a, a double from 20 to 45. More than a double, depending, well, around a double, because you're never gonna get it perfect. So one of these days, I'm gonna catch one of these guys, hopefully, and hold it, because I want to test. I want to be able to get into that mentality of holding it, catching it, and riding the waves. And that's a good 10,000 if I would hit, be able to hold it. Now, I'm not exactly sure if had I bought it that it would continue to go up. I have a suspicion that it will try to stop me out here, right? Because five cars, maybe not five, but if I bought 10, I think they would the market maker would have tried to stop me out or something like that. But I'm still gonna, one of these days, I'm gonna be able to try to hold a cause or put and ride one of these guys to make 10,000, because this is the only way to make the money is on these key technical levels. I mean, this is just a key technical level, 61.8, 61.8 right here, right? So you just gotta expect a bounce. You just gotta expect a bounce, and you just gotta hold it and cover for the day or at the high or whatever you want to cover at. Here or even here. Even if you get stopped out, you still get close to the top. You wouldn't want to hold 10 calls or 5 calls for the next day. But right now, it is above the 50 again. So 2 days above the 50. So I'm expecting a bounce tomorrow. I do think it might fail. The reason I think it might fail is because this whole sell-off is very suspicious to me. I just don't understand how it could happen, to be honest. Um, because to be honest, if you look at this, here is the option expiration for October. So they bought this up and they pushed Amazon. Okay, this is portfolio managers, everybody pushing, buying this, and eventually they bought. Monday was a big buying. So at this point, where it's very bullish. Okay, and even this can is bullish right here. Then they started selling off. Now these are the shorts trying to take a hold of it. So the shorts are taking a hold of it. But at some point, you have to expect the longs are gonna get back in and try to squeeze out the shorts. But it is not happening, which is really suspicious because who is generating all this selling? So it's not the retail investors, the mom and pops, the 401k, because with this run up right here, no one is selling at the top. Okay, these type of run up right here is a very positive sentiment, and no retail investors are going to be selling like that. They normally just hold because here's the top, and this obviously at this point any retail investor would think it's going to go right back up. So the retail investors are not selling this. The portfolio managers, I mean, I don't think they're selling this because this is the beginning of Q4, starting in October. So they are buying this. These are the portfolio managers buying it for the start of Q4. So How is it that they started to sell it off right away? I don't think that is the case. Um, the traders, the option traders, the day traders, they are still leaning on the positive side because you can see there is a lot more call options than put options. There's a lot more call options than put options across the board on the individual top tech like Apple, Amazon, every one of these guys. Look at Apple. A lot of call volumes. Tesla, you know, Facebook. Uh, Although Tesla do have a lot of puts as well, but you got Tesla, you got Facebook. Um, yeah, a lot of call volumes, and of course, let's just focus on Amazon. So Amazon has, substantially a lot of call volumes. Here you got it on the 3200, you got it on the 3100, on the 3150, and and of course the 3100 should be decent as well. Oh no, that's only 1000. So that, and here you got on the put side, you got the 3100. So let's take a look at that. The 3100, that's okay. Yeah, so, and of course you got the 3200 right here. Mm. So right now, yeah, so right now you got the penetration of this guy. So this looks like it's gonna go down. So the cars are looking more bullish at this point. Although it's not moving yet. Let's see, 3150. So this one has volume right here. You can see there's lots of volume, and this one may starts to go up. And the 3100. Yeah. So this has volume as well. So to me, I just feel like the traders, the option traders are leaning, they're buying more cars than puts. So how is it that you got this much selling off without a short squeeze? So hopefully there's a short squeeze tomorrow and it's probably going to land. And I'm just saying hopefully because I don't know. Right now, this behavior right here is just so, I just can't believe it. I mean, at any point I was expecting a squeeze, but this right now on the weekly, it is, it is bouncing off of, and if it closes higher tomorrow, let's just say it closes above 3200. Then you do have a 5 week candle that is going up, but yeah, it's gonna be negative either way. Even though you got, there's no way this is gonna end up green, so this is negative. Two down candles. So I would say next week is gonna be pretty negative, to be honest. Um, I don't know if it's gonna be Monday. Yeah, well, it just, unless they can save it. Let me see. How is there? There's never been two red. You mean here you see you got two red candles, then you got a green, and then it continues down. So now you got three red candles and a bounce. Now you got two red candles, maybe a green, but and this 5 week moving average is probably going to fail. It's probably not. Yeah, this is almost a guarantee. This is gonna be a failure. I just don't see any way around it because you got two red candle now, two red candles, two red candles, and that's just a lot of data that suggests this is going down. So let's see how much they can rescue it for tomorrow. I mean, if you look at this, it's just technically, I think it should bounce. Um, just technically. but for the broader view, the bigger view, it looks like it's gonna go down. Although you got Bookham, let me see. Bookham looks good today, which is kind of strange. So, yeah, why? Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Like Bookham is up. Is that means? I mean, covet is higher. So why is Bookham going up? I mean, because you got weaker initial claims. But if you can go with weaker initial claims, why isn't like Amazon up? So something is weird is going on. I just don't know what's going on, to be honest. And Google continues to be up. I mean, this is a dog for other techs. Of other techs, Google never outperforms when you comparing it to like Apple, which is weak. And they got 5G launch coming. So you got Apple, and it's like, why is Apple weak if the retail is the unemployment report is low, the initial unemployment report is low. I mean, this is kind of bounce off the 50. I don't know if it qualifies or not yet. I mean, yeah, here I guess it's kind of qualified because you got these events that are similar to the 50. But why is it so weak? Why is Apple and Amazon so weak, but you got Google strong? You got Tesla, which is, I guess, still relatively, yeah, Tesla sold off, so Tesla is weak as well. This selling off of the earnings, so it's really strange. And then you got, of course, the software, Snow, that's strong. Zoom is bouncing off of the 20, so yeah, I never be able to catch this guy, to be honest. I don't know why. It's just like I'm just so stuck on Amazon because I'm just cannot believe what's going on with Amazon that I'm missing out on signals like this. This is a bounce off of the 20. I should have been able to buy a couple of cars and made some money on the Zoom, because that's if I would have bought maybe not this um yeah, let's just say this guy here at 163 off the bounce off of, I could have made a decent gain. Could have made a decent gains. I mean, look, that's actually very nice. 150. I would have probably bought 10 to 471. That's 3,000 right there. I mean, this is so easy of a signal to catch. I mean, why am I not looking at it? I have Zoom right here. Oh, I know why. I mean, at this point, it's just so negative. Yeah, this is the selling off point. I am not buying anything at this point because I'm just focusing on Amazon. And that's just unfortunate though, because yeah, it's just Amazon is just freaking me out right now because that is my trading instrument, and it's just freaking me out that I'm not able to hold the calls because the buys just seem so negative, but I just don't understand why. I just do not understand why Amazon is so negative. Just it's just hard for me to understand what's going on right now. So the trend is just. So here is the bounce off of the 61. So that the trend right now is up because you once you reach a price target of 61.8, you gotta look at the trend from that point. You ignore the past. So now the trend is up. Will it carry over tomorrow? Yes. This should carry over tomorrow and have a bounce. When you have this type of bounce and above the 50, this should be a carryover. Now, the initial target should be 3,200, and this is where it should fail because this 100-day or this 100 candle average should go down and meet up around here. It may not even reach 3,200, but most likely it will fail at this point. And this is where we will know if they can squeeze the shorts or if something fundamentally is up. And if something fundamentally is up, this should reverse. And if it reverse, it's gonna crash. It's gonna get below 3,100. As funny as that sounds, like what? How does it go from 32 here below 31? That's just the way it works. If it doesn't go up on option expiration, it's going to fall, and it's gonna fall pretty bad. So it's gonna be below. It's probably gonna be, yeah. It's gonna look so bearish. Does that even make sense though? It may even meet up with this. No, it won't meet up because it won't be that low. Um, but it may meet up next week if this continues to go down. I have a feeling that's gonna happen. To be honest, I got a feeling you got an initial gap up, a follow through, and it's gonna fail like all these guys fail. So it's gonna be somewhere. It probably won't even hit 3,200, because if it hits 3,200, you know it's gonna run up. Um, so it probably won't hit 3,200. It's gonna be somewhere right here, and that's gonna be the attempt, just like these guys, just like these guys, just like these guys. You know, all these attempts to break just fail. So it's gonna probably fail, and that is where you're gonna, maybe I should buy. At this point, I'm just gonna risk it and buy some puts. I mean, I just got to do it and hold on to them puts. And even if I lose it, I lose it, man. I mean, you ain't gonna make any money unless. But guys, I hate to just buy these puts. It's still gonna be relatively expensive. You know, it's I hate to, because you never know for sure. It's just, yeah, I just, buy these puts, and whatever reason it might go down and go back up. Who knows what's gonna happen? I just feel like it's gonna fail and then it's gonna crash. We'll see. I don't know what I'll do. If I do anything at all tomorrow, I might not even do anything. Um, but right now, Amazon is really tricky to play. Even though I did make 3,200, I did try to hold some of these calls. I did time it pretty well, luckily, off of these bounce. Now, I don't like counter trending, but I don't consider it counter trending when you reach key level. I consider counter trending when you do it up here. Anywhere up here and you try to counter trend, that's a counter trend. When you reach key technical level, and I consider that at once you reach key technical level, it is neutral, and therefore if it's neutral, you can be negative or positive, but it's not counter trending, because this downward trend no longer apply. You at key levels, the trend starts over again. So I did catch some of these calls, although I wasn't able to hold on to them. um, so I mean, fairly decent day. These calls actually made me the most money, interestingly enough. The option that I sold, I didn't get anything. Had I not bought these options, these call options, I would only be up, like 800 or something, if that at all. So that is interesting. So tomorrow, see how it is. I might do I mean, it's just hard to imagine this is gonna bounce very much. So even if I do a straddle tomorrow, I mean, gosh, how far would they push it on the upside? It's right now it's so negative that I feel like the upside is not. I might, I might just play the bounce tomorrow, and then with whatever money I have on gaining on this bounce, when it gets close to 3,200, I'm gonna buy the puts, and I'm just gonna hold it. And if I lose it, I'll lose it. Fuck it, If I lose it, I'll lose it. Fuck it. Um, yeah, that's the only way to really play it, to be honest. I mean, Apple is still, everything is still negative as far as the big tech. Microsoft. It's just, I mean, it is a bounce. It is a bounce, but I just still feel like it's very negative. Let me just look at the indexes real quick, see if there's anything on the indexes. So the Qs, of course, that of course bounce off of the 20, so that is fairly positive. Let me see if I can do this right. So that's a bounce off of the 20 and a bounce off of the 5 weekly. So let's see what the SPY looks like. Again, yeah. So the SPY looking fairly positive, bouncing off of the 20 and the 5 weekly IWM. Yeah, that looks pretty positive. Financial, very positive. DIA. Yeah, I would say that's still okay. Semiconductor. Yeah, semiconductor is down because of Intel. Retails. Yeah, retail is still negative. Biotech, which really doesn't matter to be honest, because biotech is not. So overall, I don't think I missed anything else. The financial is looking strong, so that's a positive sentiment. So the QQQ is the only one that's really weird. Yeah, it's just so many mixed signal right now that I really can't say. I mean, I just feel like it's negative. Um, with COVID, anything, my gut instinct is still going to turn and be pretty bearish next week. Although you got a lot of big earnings next week, I think all the big tech, Amazon, of course, Microsoft, all, Apple, I think they're all next week. Facebook. So we'll see how that perform. I think it should bounce tomorrow. I mean, man, who knows? It's so hard to read right now. I don't know what to say, to be honest. I just I don't know if I'm gonna play tomorrow because Friday is really difficult to even follow a trend. Catching and riding the waves. But I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'll see what I'll do tomorrow. It's just really difficult right now, to be honest. That's all I can say. And hopefully, hopefully I'll do something